everybody, so we're back talking some more Titans Season 3 on the channel. Episode 8 is upon us. I actually really loved last week's episode, other than maybe like episode 3 of this season. It's probably my favorite episode, so there was a lot to live up to. A lot of great stuff happened last week. We saw Jonathan Crane and Jason Todd on the run after Titans defeating all those people. Before we dive into the episode, though, I do want to make sure to tell you guys to make sure you share your thoughts down below about the episode, because I love talking about the show each and every week with you guys. We do jump around quite a bit in this episode when it comes to all the different storylines, but I do like that we pick up right where we left off in the end of last episode with Gar talking to Molly, Jason's friend, when it comes to Jason Todd, because he wants to go try and help Jason Todd and locate him so the Titans can try and help him out. If you watched my review for last week's episode, you would know that I was very excited to see just where this storyline would go with Gar, because if we're being honest, he's really not had much to do this season. He doesn't really have a storyline, so I guess I thought this was going to be his actual storyline for this season. Unfortunately, it really doesn't go that way. He kind of is just like the middleman of the middleman, as we see later on in the episode. Molly talks to Jason Todd and then relays the information to Gar and then relays that information to Dick Grayson, and then they go meet up later on in the episode. So that's kind of a bummer. I really would like to see Gar get some type of focus in this season, but he really is the odd man out when it comes to the Titans. Speaking of the Titans, I think it's awesome that we have the Titan symbol up in the sky now, the giant T in Gotham City. Pretty cool stuff here, replacing the bat signal for the time being, since they are kind of taking over Gotham until Batman comes back. After that kiss that Barbara and Dick Grayson had last week, seemingly things are going pretty well with them going to a gala, getting all nice and dressed up. I do have to say that Dick Grayson is looking very much like Bruce Wayne this episode. He has definitely got that Bruce Wayne Batman kind of feel to him. Unfortunately, they never make it to that gala, though, as Tim Drake has showed up at Wayne Manor and wants to talk to Dick Grayson, talking about how he knows everybody's identities. I don't know too much about the actor portraying Tim Drake in this, Jay Lycurgo. I think he's still relatively new to Hollywood, but I think he does bring a good essence to Tim Drake as a character. It does seem like they're pretty much portraying him as the Tim Drake that we know from the comic books. Having him be such a great detective and actually seeing Dick Grayson in the Flying Graysons, that's how he deduced that he was Robin and Nightwing in the past. And just the fact that he wants to be Robin and help out the team, but instead of it being Batman like in the comics, of course, that is kind of the supplement is Nightwing in this, because Batman is away in Europe somewhere doing whatever. I do like the seeds that are planted, though, for Tim Drake in this story, especially the budding friendship that could potentially be there between Nightwing and Tim Drake. I'm sure it's almost certain that you're going to have him become Robin at some point. I don't know if it's going to be by the end of this season. Maybe it'll be a tease for next season in the season 4, but I really am looking forward to seeing more of Tim Drake in the show. I hope we get a little bit more of him in future episodes. Once all that stuff with Tim Drake and Dick Grayson's over with, we do see some weird stuff happen when it comes to Dick Grayson. We do see that he tracks down Jason Todd on the street fairly easily. It was actually like not even that hard, merely an inconvenience, but he does try to chase him, gets launched when he gets hit by a truck and he's in the hospital, and then he starts having all these weird hallucinations throughout the episode, whether it be seeing him as a kid as the Flying Graysons, he's seeing bats instead of letters in the hospital, and some other hallucinations along the way. Very odd and strange stuff. Speaking of Jonathan Crane, we do get the update of where they went. They're at the pumping station. We do see Jason Todd, and he is looking absolutely terrible. He looks rough. I mean, the withdrawals of the drugs are really setting in. You see, the next stage of Jonathan Crane's plan is to drill a hole into the pumping station and dump all these chemicals into the water supply, and that's how he's going to get all the people to be mind controlled. So that's an interesting plan. It seemed like it was going well until the strife between Jason Todd and Jonathan Crane kind of hit a breaking point. I mean, Jason Todd is on the edge this whole entire episode because he's just going through those withdrawals and he's very irritable. But I mean, it was a long time coming for them to be very pissed off at each other, to the point where Jason beats up Jonathan Crane and leaves. Jason really goes through it this episode. You can definitely see the self-realization there as he finally realizes all the terrible things that he's done throughout the course of season 3 and these last couple months. All that remorse and regret as he's alienated all of his friends and family at this point, and he kind of has to deal with it and cope in certain ways that are a little bit stranger than others. You know, he goes to see like this live sex show, and he kind of pays them to try and act like they're Hawk and Dove so he can apologize to Hank for killing him. Kind of a strange situation, but we do get a little bit of a nice moment, giving him this nice little pep talk about home, which is why the episode is titled that. So we'll see more of that later on in the episode with Jason Todd. I did find it kind of interesting that we finally do catch back up with Jonathan Crane. He's being woken up by the guy that works at the pumping station, thinking he's a homeless man, offering him some yogurt. I feel like people would recognize Scarecrow. I think that's kind of weird that they don't recognize he's Jonathan Crane, but, you know, whatever. Really, all this scene is here for is for the pumping station guy to give Jonathan Crane all the info about how to execute his plan better, and then he snaps his neck. Seems like Crane really likes snapping necks this week, because this isn't even like the only snapping of the neck that he does this episode, because he goes to see his mother. He's full on deranged at this point. I do think it's a good scene just to show how unhinged Scarecrow really is in the show, because he snaps his own mother's neck and just leaves her there before he can actually get caught. I mean, that's a pretty dark shit to just snap your mother's neck and then just run away. You know, this section had to come up as I've been talking about the relationship every episode between Blackfire and Connor. We really took the next step this episode. I'm talking sex scenes, full on hardcore sex scenes, laying in bed together, crazy mist coming out from under the bed, breaking the bed and all that stuff. stuff. Everything's going great until Corey walks in. I thought that was absolutely hilarious that Connor super speeds away naked. I think that was probably the funniest scene in the entire season. It seemed like at first she was really upset about the situation though, as she was about to roast Blackfire in bed, but she had to get snapped out of it. So I guess a couple episodes back, those visions weren't coming from Blackfire, they were coming from some other thing. I think that's going to be one of the interesting storylines going on, because I thought it was over, but it actually isn't. Even have Corey go back into that chamber she did back a couple episodes back when she beat up Carr and put him in the back of that trunk. This time though, we have some better backup. We have Connor and Blackfire supervising her. She still ends up breaking out and going somewhere random. We do see some crazy visions of her in a baby carriage and stuff like that. It was very weird. I mean, it was kind of like weird hallucinations kind of things anyway. We still don't really have an answer for what these kind of vision things she's having really mean, so I guess that's going to be one of the big questions going on now. I don't know. I mean, they're getting pretty weird. I mean, we're talking about roasting people accidentally so far this season, so hopefully we can get that sorted out before she roasts people on the team. I did think it was kind of cute, the little awkward car ride back between Blackfire and Connor after they leave Corey where she is. They aren't entirely sure how to process the future of their relationship, but I do think it is kind of cute that Connor sees the good in Blackfire, and it seems like she's kind of coming around to the whole idea of being on the team, and she has a love interest. I mean, good for Superboy. The main thing we've been building up on with this episode is, of course, Jonathan Crane trying to dump all the chemicals in the pumping station, but also the fact that Jason wants to go home and be a Titan again. As Jason talks to Dick Grayson when they go inside of these tunnels that they both know because Batman used to use them. Dick seemingly on the side of letting Jason come home if he gives up Jonathan Crane. Little does he know Jonathan Crane is actually listening in on the conversation, which does cause a split in the Titans because some of them really don't want Jason back, which is understandable because they killed Hank, which to me personally I thought was going to be one of the things that would cause him to never come back to the Titans, but I guess there is like that potential maybe he'll come back. I feel like he's better off being solo to begin with, but we'll see where that goes for the rest of the season. We do see that Tim Drake is lurking around those tunnels still, because he did lurk when Dick Grayson went inside the tunnels, but he's still lurking when Jason Todd comes out and he follows him, only to be meted by Jonathan Crane, who shoots him in the back. That was shocking to me. I thought, man, we're gonna kill off Tim Drake after this little appearance. I mean, I'd be kind of pissed off. I guess it's a good thing the Titans are kind of just waiting right off screen to help save Tim Drake. They actually have the paramedics 3 minutes away. I don't know why Superboy doesn't just like speed him to the hospital, but you know, whatever. To leave off the episode inside as Corey just makes everything explode inside of there, seemingly causing the water to be tainted with all the chemicals that Jonathan Crane wanted. And it's looking pretty bad, as we do see that water spot earlier on that was forming above Barbara Gordon's desk is now just imploded inside of the Gotham City Police Department. And hopefully nobody drinks the water. It seems like that's going to be the thing that you're gonna have to tell everybody on the news, that don't drink the water because it's all tainted now. Yeah, this definitely wasn't one of my favorite episodes of this season. It was hard to top the last week's episode, but I do think it was a solid setup episode for some of the big stuff that's going to come in the next few episodes. Very excited to get back into next week's episode. I think it's going to be very interesting to see just how Gotham deals with all this and the Titans as well. Make sure you share your thoughts down below. What do you think of the episode 8 of season 3 of Titans? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Where do you think the story's going to go when it comes to all the plot lines? There's so many to go through, so make sure you share all your thoughts about each and every one down below in the comment section. It's a lot of fun talking about the show with you guys, so make sure you do share your comments because I do read and respond to all of them. Thank you as always for checking out my reviews, though. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe button. We'll keep updating reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more on the channel. But next time, I'll see you guys later.